Guys. I am having a terrible day. Just terrible. Originally, this week's video was going to be about putting the finishing touches. You can see I have a servo right here and a touch screen for our power system. We were going to finish that up. We've been riding around with these components and it was time for us to install them. Instead, I've messed up everything. Just everything. Let me tell you what happened. Andrew and I had been batting around the idea of what a possible salvage car, something reliable. He wasn't super keen. If you've seen our videos, you know that the company cars would like break down as we were moving them to the lot, and he wouldn't want to put me on a mountain without signal in unreliable transportation. I mean, anything can break down, but let's be real, he would rather me be in a car that he's maintaining. So we were looking online this particular time. So this morning I was on the phone with my dad, who is a car dealer. He was looking at the auction, but as a dealer he was signed in. So we're noodling around, we're talking about FJ Cruisers and like Super Foresters and ground clearance and potholes and four-wheel drive and all the things that interest both Andrew, my dad, and I. I also look at all of the hail damaged and other, salvaged Airstreams. So I'm like talking to my dad and my brother like we do regularly, and my dad is logged in and I say, hey Dad, check out this Airstream. It's a limited edition 2018 Tommy Bahama that's flooded. So Daddy and I are talking about the different like features and the limited edition this and the hatch door and it's a 2018 and all of these things, and through mysterious internet magic, somehow my dad hit the buy it now for $21,000. Yep, so that happened. My father was logged in while he was looking, which is why I never ever log in ever. Even though I have the ability and permission from him to do so, I just don't, because I just never want this exact scenario to happen. So the buy it now is hit at $21,000. And then all of the salvage fees were piled on. So the grand total is $25,500. So it's Thursday, and my dad will reach out to the salvage company on Monday and see if he can figure out a way to fix this situation. However, my dad is not new to this business, and he knows that, like many companies, the salvage companies are for profit and they are cutthroat. They do not care. And so the way I'm looking at it right now, we have 4 possible options or outcomes in this scenario. The first one is my dad calls on Monday the salvage company and explains there was an error or a glitch, and they just erase the debt, and it was like it never happened. The next option, the second option, is that we pay the salvage auction all of the fees up front. We rerun the trailer through the auction, and based on the fine print, it's very likely that if it doesn't sell for the buy it now, we will be paying the difference of that pricing without owning the asset. We're just throwing money into that situation. The third option is that my dad just doesn't pay. It was an accident. It wasn't intentional. He clearly buys only cars, and he has a long-standing history of only buying cars, and this was just a fluke. And the likelihood is that the salvage company would sue, and my dad could lose his dealer's license. And I don't actually think that that's a viable option. If it's in my power to have that not happen, I absolutely would never, ever want that to be the situation for my father. I love my dad. The fourth and final option is that we hitch up right now from Roswell and we start blasting towards Florida, and that trailer basically becomes ours for $25,500. If you're familiar with our channel, you know that we are no strangers to Airstream remodels, Airstream builds. We do projects, but we also have some pretty lofty, some pretty intense, challenging, I don't know the word, but we are paying down Andrew's student loan debt, and we have been incredibly successful in doing that this year, and I'm like really proud of us. This is going to put a hitch in our stride. Definitely just unplanned, guys.
Given that this trailer purchase is kind of way afield of what we're trying to do for financial goals, if you take the financials out of it, what are your top 3 things that make this really hard to do or impossible? Like, what would be the worst 3 things that you could see right when we roll up?
Not including the money issue.
No.
Okay, then it would be frame damage, because if you know anything about salvage yards, and I do, they often use forks to move stuff around in the yard, and I'd be worried that there's some sort of unspoken, unshown frame damage. The second thing is that because it's a flood and it is in Florida, that I don't think it's been sitting, based on the fact I track all of the Airstreams on the Salvage Yard website, but mold. Absolutely a massive mold bloom, and because it's wet. And then the third thing, because it's a 2018 Tommy Bahama, one of the most amazing features of that is the lift door on the back, and somehow that doesn't work or has been damaged in the salvage yard. Because once it's in a salvage yard, they treat it like it's salvage, and it doesn't matter if you're the buyer that there's additional damage. So those are the things that would concern me the most. What concerns you the most, Andrew? I can't even with you right now. This is not a time to laugh.
Sorry. Okay, so if we get there, and my biggest concern is I can't like hitch it onto the ball. Like the hitch has been damaged to the point where I can't lock it on the ball safely, or like the wheels don't roll. Like so much rust has already occurred that we can't even roll the thing away. That's a serious concern for me. I guess the second thing that would concern me is that it reeks of low tide, that it was flooded with salt water. We'll never get that kind of the salt out of it. We'll keep pulling water out of the air, so we'll never get it dry. The other, I guess, catastrophic thing was the third thing, if it was plugged in when it flooded and it just shorted everything electrical, like everything electrical is just fried. It's nice to think there's some chance that we won't actually have to go ahead and purchase this trailer, that they may unwind the transaction and just say, oh, sorry about the glitch. I don't think that's going to happen. I think by how those auctions work, I think we own that Airstream now. Okay, if I can get myself past the purchase price, I think the prospect of repairing an Airstream doesn't intimidate me at all. I can go through whatever, we'll fix it, we'll clean it, we'll do whatever we have to do. So I think at this point we need to just get ourselves on the road and get moving east. If we stop in Texas and work in Texas because we don't have an Airstream, that's okay. But I think we're gonna wind up going to Florida to get it. Well, fast forward a couple days. We're actually in Florida now. We haven't filmed much of the drive to get here. It's just been a couple days of doing nothing but driving and stressing out.
We are both exhausted. We've been driving around the clock, shift sleeping, like kind of just doing the best we can. What we've done so far in terms of logistics is we've dropped the trailer in a campground, and now we have to drive another 8 hours south to go do a snatch and grab for this rig. We want to be there when they open in the morning. I think that's the best use of our time and money, so that we don't keep incurring more fees.
Yeah, we have an awesome plan to leave late tonight and basically drive all night.
Yay, we'll sleep in the truck.
How do I feel about it? It's gonna take some work, but I think we're off to a good start here. We gotta get it off the lot because there's storage fees and fees for everything. So we just gotta get it off the lot and start working on things. I think new batteries, or a new battery, is the first order of business. Might be salt water.
Pickup day, and then we'll know more. Hey, getting it jacked because the electricals are dead?
Yep, dead electricals.
All right, let's do this.
All right, We just picked it up, and now we got to figure out our next steps.
We'll see. We'll see. It did come with a set of keys, which is not always the case with salvage vehicles, so we're going to count that as a win at this time.
So right now we got to make sure we can tow this safely, so I need to get the hitch foot up. It's down too low and it's going to drag, and I need to get the trailer brakes working and the trailer lights working. It's really about safety, and I've got to get this stuff going. I don't have electrical power to raise the jack, and I don't have the little wrench that you can use if you don't have electrical power. So I am taking the 3 bolts out to lift the jack foot up. It looks like if I just cut this one wire here, I should be able to cut that zip tie and be able to raise this off. So, solve that problem. Check this out, it's the holy grail of RVing. The tailgate opens without obstruction.
Yeah, but we can't get it off the ball.
I'd say it was a perfect solution. I've got sway control connected. I removed the hitch foot, and I'm happy with how all that's gone. We are going to have to take out these old batteries and put in a fresh battery to make sure we've got trailer brakes.
All right, well, let's Google an AutoZone, Auto Parts, Napa, something. Ready?
Yep. All right, let's see if we have trailer brakes. I think I hear something. Yes, you do. Absolutely do. This is good news. All right. Trailer brakes, that's excellent news. All right, let me check lights. We've got marker lights, brakes. We have brake lights. All right, we've got a left turn signal. All right, looks like we've got a right turn signal.
Andrew's getting quarters. We've pulled into a car wash that is RV friendly. Okay, we're hooked up. Andrew's done some basic safety stuff, lights, brakes, that kind of very simple stuff so that we are basically road legal. Now we want to wash some of the salt and whatever is on here off. We need to find a parts store that can give us a battery so we can take out the scary looking batteries in the battery box, and we're just working on the outside of this for today. Just come closer.
No, thank you. I will. A little bit of grind. Not too bad. Ah!
Sorry.
You shot me directly.
It wasn't on purpose. I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it on purpose.
Dent behind the rock guard is pretty superficial. Probably not much of a problem. We'll see. How's that going?
I'm wet.
Just a little bit.
I'm sorry I got you. I'll have to change my clothes.
You didn't have to get yourself, just like as a...
It was just like overspray stuff when I was on the clock.
We got some areas we want to scrub for sure.
Yep, let's start. These are stainless, not aluminum. And I'm just giving them a little coat of WD-40. Keep them as protected as possible for the time being. There's so much work to do. This is just sort of spitting into the wind, but I have them open so I can easily do the inside right now.
The tire stuff.
Yep, I was going to say
Okay.
we need to check tire pressures and stuff.
First minor hurdle here, we have a soft tire. While we were washing this, I kind of noticed it seemed low. Just put the gauge on, I'm getting around 15 PSI, so that's definitely low. If you can see those bubbles forming at the top of that, it's leaking around the valve stem. As I'm putting air in this, I can see that it's leaking more frantically up here. I'm gonna see if I can tighten this a little bit with a wrench. So this is exactly why we have the Via Air kit mounted in the truck.
That made it quieter.
Right, this run will run out of water that's near it, so it's not dripping as bubbling as much. Sit rep. We are at a tire shop getting a new valve in this. The valve is leaking and I can't tighten it enough to get it to stop. This is excellent news. The state code suggests these tires were made in the middle or 21st week of 2023. So they're basically about a year old, and I'm pretty happy about that. Goodyear endurance, and they don't look worn at all.
You know, that doesn't scare me at all. Kind of looks pretty manageable. Some sandpaper and some fresh black paint, and we should be right as rain under here.
It appears these batteries are making 1/2 of a volt. So my plan here is to remove these two 6 volts and run one 12 volt battery. And for now, I'm going to simplify a couple things. For example, there's a ZAMP solar controller connected in with these batteries. We don't need that right now. We just need 12 volt batteries working. So I'm going to go ahead, make some simplifications, and I should have this safe and ready soon. The grounds came off easy, but the positive side is a little bit, you got me chewing on cheese, okay? All right. I was able to get the grounds off pretty easily, but there's a lot of corrosion on the positive side. This piece broke.
All right, Andrew has wrestled the two 6-volt batteries out, and he is drying this out. Sorry about the leaf blower. Now we'll put the new battery in.
I'm in the process of connecting up the battery now. I've got a red where I've got to replace this bolt. It was just too rusty. I did manage to reuse the one on the ground, so that's good to go. Then these connections over here are ring terminals. This one goes to the jack, which we're gonna need to put back into service. This is gonna go on the post with the nut.
Are those from the Select Wheeler Reserve of parts?
Yes, we have some parts in reserve here that I'm gonna trot right out for this. Should work nicely. Nice new bolt on this one. It was too rusty. I couldn't even get a wrench on it and actually have it not just flake off rust, so happy with that one. This was on the ZAMP solar connection. That wire's corroded through. I'm remaking some ring connections because there's some pretty bad corrosion in there. I'm always convinced this will take just a second. Just remake a few connections, no big deal, a couple minutes. Then I look around as I start to get done and I got stuff everywhere. There it is, wiring cleaned up and simplified. That'll work for now. So now that we've got the battery repaired, we're going to put the hitch back on so we can use the hitch as normal. We've got electricity, so we should be able to raise the foot. If that doesn't work, we've also found the hand crank, so we can hand crank it. So I'm gonna put it on either way and we should be able to use it.
I have a question. Is this the moment we turn it sideways?
I don't think we can turn this one either.
Nope. That gains us basically nothing. The tailgate down dream.
Starting with hand tight to make sure everything's lined up. Then I'm gonna, once I have it tight, connect the wire.
It is a balmy
Maybe 36 degrees.
in Florida. So once again, weather fail.
All right, just tighten things down. Shouldn't take long.
And we'll see if we can do it. Do you even want, it's so cold, do you actually want to wire it now?
Yeah.
Or do you want a hand crank?
Let's wire it up, see what it does.
All right.
All right, I'm making the one electrical connection here. It uses the ground as the connection to the frame, so there is only one wire. And I've got heat shrink ready to go that I'm going to put over this crimp connection.
Ready to test it?
So yeah, before I hit the heat shrink on this electrical, I just want to make sure we got, okay, we've got the light working, and it goes down. Okay.
I don't know what kind of lubrication
Yep.
that needs, but it definitely will with the salt air that it's probably been exposed to.
Yeah, I think we want to run all the way down and spray it
Okay,
with oil.
but not right now. It's too cold.
Yep. Okay. As always, Jackery, saving the day here. A little bit of heat shrink and we should be good.
You're just warming your hands with the heat.
Yes, I am. I'm not gonna lie.
That's actually really smart. That's smart.
All right, I think we're good with that connection.
That'll need some TLC in service, much like everything else. But now we can get off the ball easily. Woohoo!
It's open. Did you just leave the key out of the... Okay, so we're not going to use those because those seem dangerous. All right. Okay.